Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
Start summer up by mixing things up with top paint and stain brands at Lowe's. Shop HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams, Valspar, Cabot to find the perfect pop of color or classic shade you've been looking for. And don't forget to prep your deck for the season with reliable wood stain and sealer. Now's the perfect time to complete your paint or stain project. Lowe's. All things summer, all at the right price.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith. Thanks for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast. Want more? Check out the greatest podcast in all the land, The Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and listen to a brand new episode every Tuesday night.
The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Hey, Nevada woman. She was arrested for breaking into a dental office. Steals cash. Then she pulled out more than a dozen teeth from an unwilling patient.
Unwilling.
Laura Each, who is not a dentist, by the way, allegedly told the county sheriff's office that she extracted 13 teeth from an unwilling patient by using an aesthetic that her employee had discarded. She said she broke into the dental office where she used to work. Incident came to light as police were investigating a May 3rd break-in at the office. Officers found a broken window, an open door at the site of the burglary, $22,000 in cash, and checks were stolen, according to the sheriff's office. After the investigation, she told detectives she also broke in to perform the tooth extractions. 42-year-old woman was arrested and charged with 2 counts of burglary, 1 count each of grand larceny. The idea of losing 13 teeth in your mouth, that freaks me the hell out.
And you're aware of it as it's happening.
Our question, what freaked you the hell out? 206-421-ROCK.
Miles, we were talking about tarantulas. So a couple of things here. First of all, Ted, I should let you know you were talking about scuba diving, and for whatever reason, you have this concept of a chimpanzee swimming.
Yeah.
They've renamed it to the swimpanzee.
Swimpanzee.
Swimpanzee. Right. As far as hairy bugs go, because Miles, you were going on about tarantulas.
I'm trying to think
and
what
all
other
that.
bugs are hairy.
First of all, someone says hairy bugs. That is their new porn name. Well played. Someone else says, dude, bumblebees. They have hair.
Oh, yeah.
But, but they don't even stand on doing anything, so nobody cares. Someone else says the hair is a defense mechanism for tarantulas. They scrub it off with their legs. It causes some pretty major discomfort and itchiness. Someone else also adds that most tarantulas are venomous, but not deadly if they bite humans. But the weird/cool thing they do when they rear up to challenge something, they can actually shoot their hair like a porcupine quill.
Get out
as another form
of
self-defense. And then as far as spiders rearing up, in spite of the size difference between you and it, someone else says, hey, man, basically human beings are taught to get yourself as big as possible, say like when you see a bear. So maybe they have the same PSAs running on Tarantula TV. If you see a human...
That's why peacocks throw all their feathers up and do all that stuff. They just want to appear as big as possible.
Yeah, but they actually attack your ass. And they're nasty by nature. So that's what I'm saying.
There's a lizard that does it that pops out this big neck on them.
But they don't freak me out. You know what I mean? Like, they don't freak me out. Tarantulas, I'm like, you already freak me out. You don't need to do this. Oh, and by the way, during the break, Mike was kind enough to show me a video of a tarantula molting. And I might kill Mike by the end of the show. I cannot unsee what I just saw.
Our question, what freaked you the hell out? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Kayla. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hello.
Hola. What's happening, Kayla?
So, I sent my oldest to take a shower, and about 5 minutes later, I hear this screaming bloody murder, and I go in the bathroom, and she says, there's something in me.
In her?
Okay. In her, and it's moving. She proceeds to bend over and show me her butthole, and it looks like there is a sea anemone trying to escape because she has pinworms.
No! Why did you call today? God damn it, man.
Somebody else needs to experience my horror.
Do you know how she got him?
I live on a farm, so...
Okay, so a million different ways. What do you try a home remedy first? Do you scream, or do you take her to the hospital?
Yeah, my question, do you go to the pet store, or do you go to the doctor?
Well, I screamed, definitely. called in my boyfriend and my dad. And I'm like, no doctors will prescribe pinworm medication. It's all over the counter. If you want it prescribed, it's like $4,000.
Jesus. So
how long does it take to get rid of the pinworms? How long does the medicine take?
Hello?
Oh,
you got to be kidding me.
Oh, man.
She told me
That's
the
so many
awful part,
questions.
and now, I know I got a million questions.
Okay.
Kayla, call back. We got more questions for that freaky ass. I'm sorry, man. I'm not okay with that. I'm just like anytime we come up with the question of the day, we have a certain anticipation
But that freaks you out.
of the types of stories we're going to hear. I just did not expect the worms coming out of a human's butt.
Okay, let's see what a pinworm looks like.
What don't?
Ooh, yeah. No.
I think the last thing I ever want to hear my child say is, "Hey, there's something in me." God Almighty, dude.
No, thank you. No, I'm out.
Kayla, Jesus.
Dirty, dirty butt girl.
All right. I'm going to move forward.
I would take lice before pinworm.
I'll take lice because lice isn't like gross to me. It's a great
It's an
inconvenience.
And lice is on you.
Right.
It's a difference between something being in you and something being on you.
God, you know what, man? When my brother first explained to me what a tapeworm was, he was probably like 7, 8 years old. I just could not conceive of a parasite, first of all. And then he's like, back then, kids, we had a thing called an encyclopedia. It's like Google, but in books. And so he flips it over and he shows me a picture of one of these things. And I'm like, dude, it wigged me out for years. Like, I don't want to eat anything, and I tell my mother, like, I might get a tapeworm. She's like, Jesus Christ, like, stop listening to your brother. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, no. But he would explain, because in my mind, a worm was the size of an earthworm. And he's like, oh, no, man, you get up to like 6 feet. And I'm like, oh, God. It messed me up, man.
You get skinny, though.
You do get skinny.
What freaked you the hell out? 206-421-ROCK.
How'd you always bring that up?
You guys wait, man, what happened?
It is not healthy. It is terrible.
It is not healthy. It can kill you. But remember, a couple of years ago, well, I say a couple.
The sushi guy?
Probably about 10 or 15 years ago. No, the people that had, I don't know if it was eating disorders or a body image disorder, whatever it may have been. But like right now, the big thing doctors are telling people not to do, like, hey, don't clean your teeth with Mr. Clean Magic Eraser. I hate that they have to say this to adults because you cannot possibly be that stupid. But about 15, 20 years ago, the big thing doctors were saying, like, hey, we've noticed an uptick in the trending of people with tapeworms, and they're trying to piece together why, and they realized that part of this, it became like a craze for people to lose weight.
Oh, you're kidding me.
No. And so the doctors had to do that. Like, don't voluntarily ingest a tapeworm, man.
Yeah.
What freaked you the hell out? 206-421-ROCK.
Right, and don't go backwards.
What do you mean?
Like, eating a tapeworm, like, that's, what is this, the 1600s? Like, imagine you got a surgery. You come in and the doctor's like, putting me under. Nope. Here's a couple shots of Jack and bite on this piece of wood.
Right.
Like, don't go backwards.
All right. Kayla is back.
Nice.
In spite of my better judgment with the dirty, weird worm butt. So after you scream, like you said, you can get over the counter medication or spend $4,000. How long does it take for that worm medication to start being effective?
It's supposed to take about 2 weeks.
Oh.
You take it 2 doses a week apart.
I can't do 2 weeks if there's worms in my butt. I'm sorry. Like, there's got to be a better way.
That's what I said. She started wearing the pull-ups again because doing that much laundry was such a pain in the butt.
No pun intended. Yeah.
So, I mean, when you say that, did it increase her bowel movement number, or aside from them being in you, what are the side effects of it?
You can get stomach aches. Your butt is really itchy, like, all the time.
Yeah, because there's worms.
There's worms in your butt.
Yeah, she was okay during the day for the most part, as long as she didn't move, but they get active at night, so bedtime was interesting.
You know what I would do? I would drag my butt on the carpet like a dog.
Yeah.
You know when they do that? That's what I would do.
That's pretty much what she wanted to do, and I was like, yeah, we're not doing that.
Okay, you said you said you grew up on a farm, right? Or she did. So, did you ever have to, like, give birth to a calf? Or, like, what is the thing that freaked you out from, like, just those?
Right.
Or are you just immune to it because, you grew up on a farm?
There's not much that gets me. I watched birthings, butcherings. We had barn rats the size of house cats that we would exterminate ourselves. There's not much that gets to me.
Except worms in your daughter's butt.
Except worms in the butt.
That's okay, though. That shouldn't bother you. You should never walk away from that situation. Like, you'll be fine.
We can deal with this.
Yeah. Wow.
What freaked you the hell out? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Johnny. Welcome to the men's room.
Boo, bitches.
Boo.
Does that freak you out?
Yeah. Very scary. Like Rob Zombie.
So, back in 2003, there was a huge fire up there in Big Bear, or I should say down there in California. And one of the neighbors, which is not even my close neighbor, it was like a neighbor across the street, a couple houses down, was looking for people to have him go with him to his cabin up in Arrowhead, I'm sorry, to get all the family heirlooms and stuff out of there before it burnt down. And apparently I was drinking a couple more drinks than I should have, and I decided to go with him. And we took up the road up to, I think it was 138, to go through the back way up into Big Bear. And they had, the staters or whatever the hell they call it, CHP down there. That blocked us off, so we decided to take the forest roads. Going up through the forest roads, up the back Big Bear and stuff like that, you could see the glow on the other side of the mountain. And we're driving up and around, and we drove right past through the jump station, and the jump station was just fine. And we got to the cabin, and we were able to get all his crap out and the stuff that he wanted to get out. And by the time we started hitting down the same spot where that jump station was, that was on fire. And there was maybe 200 to 300 feet from us where the desert was on fire, and you can feel like 100-degree heat just off the window. And I basically thought I was going to die.
Did you guys just punch it? Do you punch it and drive through? What do?
You don't. It's back roads. You can't really hit like 60, 70 miles an hour.
So what'd you do? Did you back out, or did you just...
No, you keep going. Get away from me, because it's coming from behind. So it's going up and up around the hill. When we were coming back down, it was behind us.
Now, was there any damage to the vehicle? Like, were the tires kind of, melted or anything like that?
No, but you can feel the heat. But the thing is, though, is that... sorry, excuse me. Is that when the heat starts hitting it, you can feel it's almost like an oven inside that vehicle.
Right.
So you can start... It was scary as F.
Do you... And I'm just curious to know, are you guys screaming like go, 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 or is it deathly silent?
Oh, yeah. No, it's go, go, go. Well, the jump station, that's where the firefighters jump in through and jump out, and they do their thing. And that thing was fully engulfed. It was about maybe 100 feet, 200 feet from us. You just the heat off of that, not including... And we didn't have the Santa... Luckily, it was nighttime. You didn't have the Santa Ana winds coming through, because that wind would push that... Fire would hit 100 miles an hour. It would jump.
That bootleg fire right now in Southern Oregon, the numbers on that thing right now are...
It's insane.
It's 200 miles long. It averages burning 1,000 acres an hour.
Right.
An hour. That is insane.
Basically, they said in, 5 seconds, another football field's lit on fire. In 5 seconds.
5 seconds.
Right, an entire football field would be on fire. You remember the video, what was it? It may have been last year, actually, when Oregon was going through those forest fires, and there was the entire family. They were evacuating. They got on, it was at night, and all you saw, the dash cam, all you saw was red. Do you remember this?
Oh, I do, yeah.
They're going down, and I think they were actually on a highway, but it's still like a 2-lane
Dude, that
highway.
might have been Southern California. Remember, some of those fires down there got to like L.A. County, and were close to like...
And you hear this family. There's kids in the back, man, and you hear their conversation as they're trying to get through this fire, and it is like both sides of the road are absolute infernos. Like if there was a driving tour of hell, that is what it would look like.
And Red Apple Fire. Talked about that yesterday.
That's the Washington one.
122,000 acres were on fire yesterday. Today it's over 150,000 acres.
Jeez.
That's in 24 hours. To give you an idea how fast that fire
Dude, years ago when I went down to Crater Lake, like kind of where that one fire is, down in that area, right? Like a fire had been through there a couple months, or I guess the year before. But I have seen bad things, but the destruction of those fires, it's unbelievable. And it's just sad.
Yeah, fire is absolute.
Which almost, I don't know what that says about me, but I've seen people get hurt, and you're kind of like, all right. But seeing just nature destroyed, I was like, this is sad.
I think that's the difference. I mean, we grew up on the East Coast, and it's violent, and people are stupid, right? And see guys get whacked, shot, you name it. And it's not that it's okay, but sadly, you actually get somewhat desensitized to it.
Right.
You know, you
Well,
really do.
like-
But, and it's not that you can never really get desensitized to forest fires. We know they're going to happen in this part of the country because it's yearly. But like you said, it's one thing to see the fire. We see it on the news. But to physically be there in the aftermath of it, it's just... It is so total.
And you also forget power lines.
Right.
There are some main lines that go through that are, the big steel columns and all that stuff. Well, everything that branches off from that, they're on wooden, electric poles. So those lines are coming down. So when that fire burned last year in Pateros, it was complete. It looked like apocalyptic.
Right.
I mean, it looked like
It
looked like charcoal.
Yeah.
Then the next year, you go back in that area, and it's amazing. Obviously, no trees anymore, but it's amazing
vegetation.
how green everything is. It's like nature does try to heal.
You know what I blame it on?
What's that?
Morning glories. I'm just going to say the experience in my yard is morning glories apparently can grow 500 feet every 30 seconds.
Bamboo is the same way.
Actually, Miles, to your point, we have a planter that had bamboo in it. All right. It did not occur to me.
I'd have killed it.
Maybe what? No. I mean, we did it on purpose, right? Because it was cheaper than building a fence. Separating 'cause my neighbor's yard is a goddamn disaster, and I doesn't want to look at it, right? So we got the bamboo. It's backed by the pergola. Blah blah blah. Well, this year we're trying to figure out what is growing out of the ground here. Because it looked like corn at first. This thing breached the ground maybe 2 months ago, and this stalk is about 14 feet tall.
Yeah, you can't stop it.
It's ridiculous.
I was going to say, that's the thing about bamboo.
It doesn't stop. You
So-
basically have to get a rototiller, go down into the ground, rototill that area, and throw root rot down there, and hope and pray you don't have to do it a second time.
Actually, we're one step ahead of you, bro.
What'd you do?
We reached out to the country of China. We're going to rent 4 pandas.
Oh, good idea. Good idea. They're cute.
You could have just asked me, man.
But you were going to eat them?
I got to hook up on pandas.
Oh, you got
nice.
a panda hookup. All right.
What freaked you the hell out? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello,
I know a panda guy.
Hello, Scotty. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, bitches.
Hola.
So my story is I was over on the Big Island with my not yet wife. She's my wife now. And we borrowed a tent for some friends that live on the Big Island and went out camping, had a half-gallon gin and a bunch of weed. Great time. And we woke up really late, and we had to have the rent-a-car back in 45 minutes, and it was an hour and a half drive. And I was like, you want to drive or you want me to drive? And she's like, I got this. So we went down this jungle road that was pretty damn windy and lots of hills and ups and downs and whatnot. And she literally, it was a front-wheel drive car, and she drifted a couple corners up over these little hills, and I swear there's probably knuckle marks on the dashboard of that car still to this day.
Did you make it back all right?
Yeah, absolutely. She's an amazing driver, but it's still, I was just like, oh my God, I'm going to die.
Did you know she was an amazing driver before that, or was that the moment you realized, while terrifying, also an amazing driver?
No, I knew she was a good driver. First time we ever went snowboarding together up at Mount Baker, she had this old Toyota, like 84 Toyota pickup, and she drifted a couple corners then, too, and was just like, whoop, and just straightened out, no problem. And I was just like, I felt like I was going to die that time, too. But, no, she's a champ, dude. She's a really, really good driver and good dirt biker, snowboarder, all that stuff. So she's a little adrenaline junkie.
I might have, it's Hawaii's got some weird stuff. I might have been driving in an area in Maui on the East Coast where my rental car was not supposed to be. But the lava flows.
What was your car? Did you have a Sebring?
I had whatever Mike had. What was that? What did you used to have? A Chevy
Camaro.
I had a Camaro.
Oh, you got a Camaro?
They got a lot of sports cars out there. I saw a lot of Mustangs when I was
When
out
I went there, man, there was either you got a Jeep or you got a Chrysler Sebring. Yeah,
this was a convertible, same difference, right? But the lava flows on the road and everything was bubbled up and you could see the heat waves coming off of it. But the double yellow line was just this whole zigzag and then it kind of fell off on the side like the whole road had melted from the lava road.
Did you follow the yellow line?
I'm gunning it. I'm just gunning it through there, hoping the lava's not still hot. You know what I mean? Like, oh God, this is nuts.
How long of a stretch?
It took forever.
Was this when you took your shortcut?
This is like, okay, so basically like this. Ted, this is how it goes. You're with somebody and they say, boy, I'd really like to do that road to Hana, okay?
Jesus, don't do it.
And you
So
and you think to yourself, okay, I'll do this, whatever. I'll be in a car all day. So you go over the north and down the eastern side of that, and the road to Hana leads to a little town that has a hotel room, has a hotel. Then you turn around and you go back.
That's literally all you do.
Now, what you realize is that on this road, it's a very windy road. At times, it's 15 to 20 miles an hour. It is bumper to bumper of cars, of people on this road. And where it should take you maybe an hour or two, you're looking at, a couple to 3 hours back. It is just, people are crawling. So I decided that where you're not supposed to go around the other part, F it. I'm going. I am not sitting in that stuff. So I just burned it down the southeast point of Maui. But I didn't realize all those lava fields were down there.
That's why they told you not to drive there.
Yeah. And then you kind of know after you've driven like 45 minutes and haven't seen anybody or another car on the road. Like there's boulders in the road. There's, you can see where rocks have fallen off of cliffs and you're just, and the guardrail's gone or the road is washed out. And you're like, you're just like, oh man.
I should have read that sign better.
Man, I should have sat in the train.
Why is everybody on the one road?
Right.
Why is it bumper to bumper?
I think I understand this now. What freaked you the hell out? 206-421-ROCK.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
Start summer up by mixing things up with top paint and stain brands at Lowe's. Shop HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams, Valspar, Cabot to find the perfect pop of color or classic shade you've been looking for. And don't forget to prep your deck for the season with reliable wood stain and sealer. Now's the perfect time to complete your paint or stain project. Lowe's, all things summer, all at the right price.
I'm Glennon Doyle, author of Untamed and host of the podcast We Can Do Hard Things. Each week, we talk openly and honestly about the hard things in life together with you. So join us and some of our dearest friends and greatest heroes to talk about anxiety, boundaries, parenting, infidelity, our bodies, loving and losing, all of the things that make us human. Listen to and follow We Can Do Hard Things on Odyssey and everywhere you get your podcasts.
99.9 KISW. The men's room is in progress.
Coming up, we will drink, we will toast to the weekend with a shot of the day, then it's Bad Choice Friday time.
You know it's Bad Choice Friday. It's Bad Choice Friday. You know it's Bad Choice Friday. Hey, man, this is your fault.
That is Ryan Castle does 25 from 50 every Saturday and Sunday at noon right here on KISW. This week, the 25 best covers from 50 years of the rock. Neither one of those included today because we're going to feature Dynamite Hack.
Cause the boys in the hood are always hard. Come talking that trash and we'll pull your card. Knowing nothing in life but to be legit. Don't quote me, boy, I ain't said
Dynamite Hack taking out a brand new one, believe it or not, from the Foo Fighters as they cover the Bee Gees.
There we go.
I cannot believe those guys were hitting those notes.
Neither could they.
Man, I can taste the champagne and cocaine.
All you got to do is follow us on Twitter at 999KISW. Get to voting, and one of those two tunes coming up right after we drink and toast with a shot of the day. Those are our bad choice options. A couple of covers for you. All right, our question, what freaked you the hell out? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Steven. Welcome to the men's room.
How's it going, gentlemen?
Hola!
All right, so here it goes. My first deployment in the Army, and I don't know if you guys are familiar with what strikers are. We're at Lewis, and strikers are just like a combat vehicle that us infantry guys ride around in.
All right.
So the driver sits in a position called the hell hole. The reason it's called the hell hole is because you're basically locked inside to drive. Not your job to know where you're going, you just do what you're told. So we're driving, we're on patrol. We're doing about 60 miles an hour. It's like 2 in the morning. Everybody's got night vision on. I'm the driver. All of a sudden, my TC yells to hard left turn. So I cranked that wheel hard left, and it put us right into a 30-foot canal in the middle of Iraq.
Oh, man.
Do not. So our striker starts filling up with water. Everybody's able to get out except for me. I'm stuck. I'm in the driver's hatch. All I've got is a little scuba tank that has like 8 minutes of air. That's all you get. And
you learned how to use that thing one time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you just think to yourself, what are the chances I'm going to drive this thing into a river?
Because who would tell me to drive into a canal?
So,
that would be stupid.
Yeah, it's kind of like, I don't know, like the fire extinguisher. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, if you're going to break the glass in a building. Have you ever used this thing before?
Right.
Have you ever pulled the pin? I mean, in theory, you kind of know.
Right.
But,
So I'm panicking at this point, right? I see the water starting to get up. It's maybe 2 feet from me at this point, and I'm at the very front of the vehicle. So my hatch gets ripped open. There's another sergeant. He says, "Here, take this," and he hands me my little snorkel of air because I can't move. He's like, "You got 8 minutes. Get the winch." Wait, you need me to go? I need to go into the water and get something? So I had to literally drop the seat back, go into the water, and grab the winch control just so we could try to winch the vehicle, which we did. Long story short, we ended up self-recovering in the middle of Iraq. I did not drown because I could have only imagined the stories of drowning.
Well, now, wait a minute.
So drowning in the desert.
When this guy is yelling at you to grab the winch, this is to save the vehicle. Are you thinking to yourself, hey, how about you get my ass out of the so-called hellhole, and then we'll try to... Because if they can't save the vehicle, then you go down with it. Is that right?
Correct. And, there was no... We were already at the bottom of the canal. It was just a matter of the water filling up in the vehicle.
Right.
And then the vehicle was so to speak, a special vehicle. There were only 3 of them ever designed. It's called the FSET program. So these strikers were incredibly specific. They weren't just like the regular strikers.
All right.
They only designed 3 of them that were filled with computers and all this stuff. And so basically we couldn't just leave it. Yeah. It was,
did you fry the electronics inside?
Yeah, the entire vehicle was almost a loss. We had to get it back. And so when you're deployed, you have these people that are civilians, and they assist with certain types of functions. So we had our civilian parts helping us because we basically had to put in all new computers, all new everything to this vehicle.
Now, I'm also going to assume that based on the fact that it's a canal and it's in Iraq, that these are not crystal blue waters. So, I mean, there's probably some sewage involved. Tell me, was it just brown, stinky, nasty water?
I got dysentery.
Jeez, there you go. Man. You got dysentery just from that situation.
Well, he's in a canal in the desert.
Right. Stephen, somebody did chime in. They go, especially in Iraq, who the F trains for drowning in the desert?
Right.
This is the farthest. Now, so look, you recover the vehicle, you replace the computers, you deal with your dysentery. At any point, did you ask the guy who screamed hard left, like, hey, man, I mean, no offense, but you're an idiot?
Well, so the beauty of being a driver and a striker is that it's never your fault if anything happens. It's always that person's fault that told you where to go.
No, I get that, but I would address them. Like, the rest of you guys got out, and I'm still in the sewer water because you got to save this piece of ass. Don't do that again, man. Why do you think he gave the command? What did he see? What did he see that he made that command? Or do you even know?
Honestly, I don't. I think it was just panic mode, do what we had trained to do to self-recover kind of a thing.
It's amazing.
I think it was just panic mode.
It's amazing that you don't have a computer screen in front of you with what is ahead. Like, like a rear camera when you're backing out of your car. It's amazing you don't have one of those in the front.
You do. You have.
Okay.
So the tricky part with those cameras, so our striker actually had 23 cameras mounted on them. So the problem with being a driver is that you sit all the way farthest left of the vehicle. Well, the cameras that you use are mounted in the center of the vehicle. So you understand that when you're driving and you're looking at your computer screen that has the camera, the camera's actually 3 feet to your right.
So it's like driving with a crooked steering wheel, basically.
Exactly. Yes, exactly like that. So you can't really trust. You've got to know, all right, my winch arm goes out this way, and then my Thor sticks out here, so I know I need to stay right there. That's about how you drive.
By the
everyone
way,
tells you where to go.
Steve, someone else chimed in. They said, I think you guys are missing a very important part to the U.S. Army. That's a $1 million vehicle. The soldier has a $250,000 life insurance policy. You do the math. yeah. Just simple economic. Like, yeah, we wish. And by the way, someone else says, my buddy is actually a civilian striker mechanic.
Damn.
So there you go.
Okay.
Yes. Yep.
Well, I'm glad you made it out
That
of there.
would freak me out.
Sorry for the dysentery.
Right. Jesus.
I mean, they have the most tech you can, but I mean,
absolutely,
stuff happens.
But that's the thing about tech. You know, the tech can make things very convenient, you know, if you have it there, but tech also seems to be the most vulnerable to taking a crap, right? Like, what was the movie? A kid like steal, it's back in the 80s, but a kid like steals some kind of, you know, F-15 fighter or whatever it is. The kid's in there and, you know, you got like NATO command telling them, like, hey, dude, you got to land the plane. But they have a camera mounted in there. And the kid's chewing a piece of gum, pulls a gum out of his mouth, puts it over the front of the camera. And whoever's playing, like, the commander turns around and looks at his subordinates like, you're telling me a kid took a piece of gum and took like $250,000 goddamn dollars worth of equipment, and that's it. You know, that's all. I mean, there's just that, like, your cell phone will never be as durable as the old landline phones. I don't want a landline phone. I understand that that's the case, but with tech, I don't know. For some reason, it's always more fragile. The most expensive stuff is the easiest stuff to destroy.
Right, and with them, like, even the highest tech in the world, like, you're still in a desert. It's pitch dark, right? Like,
and you're still relying on a dude who's not technical, like, hard left.
Okay. It's like driving with your eyes closed and having the guy beside you tell you where to go. You know?
Yeah. Okay.
What freaked you the hell out? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Stan. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, how you guys doing?
Hola. Great, man.
So, what was it? I say about a year ago, 2 years ago, after I moved up here to Washington State, my carport is like right next to my neighbor's backyard. He has a shed right there by my fence. And I was middle of the night, like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. I go outside to smoke a cigarette and I hear like the fence move. So I look over to the fence and there's a raccoon just sitting on top of the fence, just looking at me. Now, it didn't scare me or nothing like that, you know, a little bit, but I kept smoking my cigarette. So I hear the fence move one more time. I look back and I look down, and at the bottom of the fence, there's like 3-4 sets of eyes also looking at me. I didn't even finish my cigarette. I just threw it away and went inside. I was like, nope, I'm not. Nope, they get me up.
They rarely travel alone.
Yeah.
You know, raccoons always get the whole family with them.
It always seems like the family, because I got raccoons that live in my neighbor's yard, but they always traverse the same way. And just like you, man, as a smoker, I'm always out there when they're there. And it's always like between 12:30 and 1:30 in the morning. And it's always the female shows up first, then the dude, and I only think he's trailing because he's a fat, husky son of a bitch. And then the 2 little kids. They climb on the fence, and they disappear into this guy's whatever the hell kind of trees guy. And this is every night like clockwork, but they've gotten used to me. So, like, when we first moved in, they would stop and we're all kind of staring at each other. And I'm not particularly close to where they are, but they would stare me down. Now, it's just kind of like, morning, Ralph, morning, Thrill. You know, just no more big deal.
What freaked you the hell out? 206-421-ROCK.
So I was just talking about that movie where the kid snatches the plane.
Is it Iron Eagle?
I don't know, okay, because this is what's come in. They say, Thrill, the movie you're thinking of is Iron Eagle. Thrill, that movie was Daryl. Then Iron Eagle, Daryl, Iron Eagle, Daryl, Iron Eagle. The movie you're talking about is Iron Eagle. So it's either Iron Eagle or Daryl.
When you're describing it, I think it's Iron Eagle. Right, because his dad was in there, then he takes the plane he's not supposed to, but he knows how to fly him. Is he playing his own tape deck that's locked around his leg?
Dude, honest to God, I don't. The only thing I remember about this movie is that a kid stole the plane. Obviously, he's not supposed to have the plane. It is a military plane. They are pissed that he's taking it for all the obvious reasons. They're looking at him as they're talking to him when he puts the gum over the lens, and the guy that's commanding the whole thing is pissed because he's like,
Was it Louis Gossett Jr.?
Maybe, man.
He's in all those movies.
That's Iron Eagle. Chappie.
I can't but it's
I
one of
obviously
those
remember
two.
a lot about that movie.
Yes, you do.
What freaked you the hell out? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Luke. Welcome to the men's room.
Hello there, gentlemen.
Hola.
So, my dad's a long-haul trucker, you know, goes up all the way through into Canada, up to, like, Alaska for, like, really long-haul trips. So I'm always kind of nervous and a little worried about him. So at one point, He's up there, middle of the Alaskan wilderness. There's like a mine, like out in the middle of nowhere. He's driven up to it. It's middle of the night. It's like 2, 3 in the morning. Pitch black. And he's sitting in his car. And he's like, I don't want to have to wait here for another 6 hours. So he calls his boss. Boss picks up. And he's like, hey, can I just drop my stuff off and go? His boss was like, oh, yeah, sure. Just be careful because there's bears. There's bears out there. We've had reports of multiple bears.
All right.
So my dad, the madman, gets out of his car, gets out of his truck in the middle of the night, absolutely dead darkness. He sticks 2 combat knives into the back of his pants and just sets to work. And I get this phone call from my dad, and he's like, "Oh yeah, just put some knives in my back pocket." And I'm thinking to myself, my 65-year-old father, old Frenchman, is getting out, willing to knife fight bears for the sake of speed convenience.
Now, is he still alive?
He is absolutely still alive, and that's the most terrifying part.
Okay. Did he retire?
He is going to be retiring very shortly.
Okay, good for him.
He was willing to knife fight a bear. I mean, did you run by him what a bad idea that is?
This was like several days after, and he was very calm about it. He was like, oh, yeah, I just was like ready for it. And I'm like, Dad, you can't just like say, oh, yeah, I'm going to knife fight multiple bears. Not one bear, multiple potential bears.
He's that guy. You know what, though? Look, Luke, I'm going to be honest with you. If I were to call my son, say 3 days from now, and he knows that I'm in Alaska and all that, I would tell him the same story. Now, there'd be no truth to it. But I'd be like, yeah, brother, I armed myself with 2 knives. Daddy ain't scared. As long as he's not with me, I can hold up that lie. Because in real life, I'd be like, I'm pretty sure you stayed in the car and screamed. Right. But if he's not there, that's what I tell him. All right, by the way, back to which movie it was, Iron Eagle or Daryl. People are still fighting about which one. And honest to God, I don't know. I'm almost sorry I brought it up. But someone says, look, I own both movies. I guarantee that it was definitely Daryl.
All right, that makes sense.
Well, they're saying that. Someone else is saying Iron effing Eagle. Daryl was more computer-based. The movie's Daryl, it's Daryl, etc. I don't know. One of the watch them both.
Yeah,
and tell
do a double
me.
feature.
Yeah.
What freaked you the hell out? 206-421-ROCK.
I can't recommend Daryl, but Iron Eagle is. I used to love that movie. I have not watched it in probably 15 years.
See, you know it's terrible. Probably. Hello, Jeremy. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola!
Hola!
All right, so I called in about the time I fell off Children's Hospital in Seattle.
You fell off?
I thought of a couple other ones. I'll let you guys pick. Wheel of Fortune, Brain
Go with the first one you called in with.
All right, we're going to go with that one. I'm a sheet metal worker, and we were working on Seattle Children's Hospital. And a little bit before lunch, they wanted me to go over the edge of the tall elevator tower and install some flashing on my way down. They wanted me to use a bozeman's chair, which is a little tiny chair on a rope like a window washer would use. But I saw there was these steel beams every couple feet that I could just kind of walk down like a ladder. And I'm harnessed up and roped off. Right before I go over the edge, I have my apprentice move my rope to the far tie-off bracket because it's more centered on where I'm going over, and because I didn't want to be an idiot and rappel off the end of my rope, I tied a little knot in the end of my rope. Well, this tower is about 40 feet over an 1/8-inch steel louvered canopy. It kind of looks like a cheese grater. And
that's comforting.
I go over the side and I start climbing down kind of this ladder thing and installing this flashing. Well, about a third of the way down, the nice sturdy steel beams turned into some riveted on aluminum fake beams that I could not put my weight on. So I had to actually rappel like a cliff repeller or whatever, but just with my safety harness and rope grab. And it was fine. I got all the way down. I installed all the metal, and my apprentice is at the top waiting for me. But now I have to go back up And so I rappel up. I can only go a couple feet at a time. I get up. I shove my rope grab up. I go up a couple feet, shove my rope grab up. Well, by the time I get all the way back up, I am exhausted. My arms are shaking. My legs are shaking. I kind of get at the top of the roof, and I rest for a second, and I go to kick my leg over the parapet to get back on the roof. But my leg, is so kind of weak at this point. It kind of hits the top of the parapet and doesn't quite get over. And I'm like, I kind of just was going to lean back and just put my weight on my rope grab and wait a couple more minutes till I got my breath and could get over. Well, as I lean back, all of a sudden I realize I'm just free falling backwards and looking straight up at the sky. Oof. And I'm falling backwards, and next thing I know, I bottom out on that knot that I just happened to tie at the bottom of my rope right before I went over the edge, about 6 feet above this cheese grater of a canopy. Well,
see, man, what did that do to your gooch?
Luckily, I was falling face up, so all the weight just kind of went on my back.
Okay, yeah. Gooch free then. Hey, Ted, we got confirmation of the movie. Do you believe it is Iron Eagle or Daryl? If you had to guess. Iron Eagle. It is Daryl. That is the movie.
Ted versus the FCC coming up. We got your emails on the way, and our question: what freaked you the hell out? From the men's room at KISW.com.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
Start summer up by mixing things up with top paint and stain brands at Lowe's. Shop HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams, Valspar, Cabot to find the perfect pop of color or classic shade you've been looking for. And don't forget to prep your deck for the season with reliable wood stain and sealer. Now's the perfect time to complete your paint or stain project. Lowe's, all things summer, all at the right price.